Their approach to the obsidian spire was met with an unnerving silence. The great gates seemed to drink the light, and the air grew heavy with dread. "Well, this is ominous," Lin noted, his voice echoing unnaturally. "No trumpets, no welcome mat." Sinju simply adjusted his cloak, his senses on high alert. The guards they eventually met were little more than a nuisance. Lin, barely bothering to transform, disarmed them with lazy kicks, while Sinju's summoned spirits, looking bored, created minor chaos until the path to the throne room was clear. There, they found him. King Malachor sat on a throne of black, jagged stone. His presence so immense it felt like a physical weight. He didn't just radiate power. He suffocated the very air with it. "I have been watching you," Malachor's voice boomed, devoid of warmth. "Your journey has been a childish tantrum across my domain. It ends now." With a casual flick of his wrist, he unleashed a wave of pure anti-magic. It wasn't a projectile, it was an erasure. The black energy washed over them, and Sinju's spirits dissolved into nothing. Lin cried out as he was slammed backward, his connection to his goblin form severed. Before they could even process the attack, Malachor clenched his fist. Lyra and Leo were lifted from the ground, pinned to the far wall by an invisible force that made their bones creak. Lin's smirk finally broke. "Okay," he growled, the sound low and dangerous. "New rule, no one touches the kids." He reached over his shoulder and drew the demon sword. The moment it left its sheath, the room changed. The blade didn't just ignite with black and red flame, it screamed, a high, thin sound of pure hunger. The air grew unnaturally cold, and frost spread across the floor from Lin's feet. Across the room, Sinju saw the twins' faces turning blue. His mind raced, but every strategy was a dead end against this level of raw power. He surrendered. "Shroud," he commanded, his voice a whisper of cold steel. "Draconic combat protocol. Activate." It was like a lightning strike to his soul. The scales on his cloak flared, and his vision was instantly flooded with 1,000,000,000 points of tactical data. He saw Malachor's energy signature, the stress points in his armor, the probability of his next attack, all in a fraction of a second. His body was no longer his. The cloak moved him, snapping his limbs into position, forcing him to weave signs for summons his own mind couldn't comprehend. The battle that followed was an apocalypse. Lin, fueled by rage, became a blur of demonic fire, his sword shattering Malachor's conjured obsidian shields like glass. Simultaneously, the shroud used Sinju's body as a conduit, summoning archons of pure light that attacked with brutal, inhuman precision, striking the exact points the cloak identified nanoseconds before. The throne room was torn apart. Pillars were atomized. The floor cracked into a chasm. Seeing a 0.7-second opening calculated by the shroud, Lin and Sinju unleashed everything. The demonic fire of the sword and a storm of celestial energy from Sinju's spirits merged, engulfing the king in a blast that blew the top clean off the spire. The smoke cleared, revealing Malachor on one knee, armor shattered, bleeding black fire, but he was alive. And the portal above, their only way out, was flickering violently. The castle groaned, shaking itself apart. The portal's collapsing. "It's now or never," Sinju yelled, his voice his own again as the cloak relinquished control. With the floor crumbling beneath them and chunks of the ceiling raining down, they made a desperate sprint. They threw themselves one after another into the chaotic, swirling vortex, just as the ground gave way. The last thing they heard as they were pulled into the unknown was the raw, hate-filled roar of the wounded king, swearing vengeance across worlds.